You can see I'm currently in a park and I'll be talking about how not to give a shit, right? Let me do so. So basically, how we cannot give a shit. First, we have to understand why we give a shit. For most people, it could be embarrassment, rejection, humiliation, something along those lines. If you, for example, do you have the balls to record yourself exercising? And all that while maybe talking to a camera. Some people already find it difficult to exercise outside. Others might not feel the same, and they probably think that other people think about them in a certain way. 5 more minutes. And if you are that very unlucky and very many people who give a shit about how other people think, then this video is for you. Step one, there is another video that goes deeply explaining into it in depth. I'll try to find that later for you, and I'll post it down in the description below. But basically, what's that called? I'll just give you a story, my thoughts. I have siblings, right? My siblings are relatively relatively good people, and sometimes I feel weird recording my YouTube videos in front of them, maybe because it's embarrassing. It may not seem like the best choice, and I hope I can overcome this fear and not give a shit. And honestly speaking, most of us should do that too. I really do think that people can benefit from not giving a shit. Many small decisions can lead up to way larger ones, simply by not giving a shit. For example, a decision that's relatively small tip for me would be to come out and exercise, right? To come out and exercise, and some people can't even do that. But the large event for me would be me achieving my dream physique, and possibly at the same time I gain strength while doing it. I'm gonna do a couple more reps. Alright. And to put it simply, you probably have someone that you give a fuck about, basically. You give a fuck about what they say. And for some, it could be your family, maybe your friends, maybe even people you don't ever know. It was just like a cute girl or a handsome guy, right? But you probably, if you're doing shit that you think in the eyes of other people may not be as flattering for you than it is for someone else. Let's say you don't think exercising outside is cool, and you feel that you don't have to feel that it's cool, right? But you feel that people around you judge you for who you are, and because you don't know, and there's a whole group of people over there I'm gonna nudge my that direction in that direction. And they have dogs, right? And I'm exercising here. They're talking. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. But for some, it may, right? Not always, but it may. To put it into perspective, I care deeply about what my parents say about me, and if they don't trust my decision, it is very sad for me, right? And I feel like at one point you're old enough to make decisions by yourself, and very recently I've only moved away from my parents, so figuring that out. But to explain it better, it would be my family, me, and the relationship between me and my family is something I do not want to ruin, right? And I'm gonna go do no more reps, but it's basically about me giving a shit about how our relationship will end out. Think about that. Oh, the dog is coming up to me. Now, if you've probably thought about it over, why do we give a shit? If you come outside, you start talking to a camera in front of a crowd, you'll probably feel somewhat embarrassed if you've never done it before. If you have, you just build up resistance to it, and that is basically how you don't give a fuck. You could be wearing, in the video which I watched, it showed a guy in a chicken suit walking around on a beach. It's a very popular one, mind you. People seem to only glance at him for maybe 5 to 10 seconds, but who wouldn't? You're a guy in a chicken suit, right? But nothing really happened to him. Nothing at all. You didn't get the laugh. You might get some laughs. Who wouldn't? Would you laugh at a guy in a chicken suit? I definitely would, right? And the thing is, I feel that whenever we go outside, we think we're in a chicken suit, and we think that everybody around us is paying more attention to us than they actually are. This could be true also when you're at home with your family, right? But that was me, or my family. For you, it could be, let's just say a random ass name, Shanice, okay? It could be Shanice, and you like this girl. You like this girl so much that you give a shit about her, what she thinks about you, and maybe at one point you should. But if you're not in a relationship, not really a point, right? Goes against the whole I don't give a shit. And no matter how you look at it, a lot of things can be simplified by just taking them for what they are. For example, exercise outside, or exercise. I didn't say outside, it's just exercise. All right. Now, for me, I'd say exercise outside because it's a pull-up bar, and I don't have that at home. All right. But for some of you guys, it may be a little bit embarrassing to go outside and to do an exercise in your school t-shirt and your jacket. But for some of us, it doesn't really matter, right? Like those guys behind me, they don't mind. Nobody really cares. Now that is the one thing that you should get down in your head. No one really cares about you specifically, unless you are their idol or someone they romanticize or something. But then again, you don't care. What does it make to you, right? If I were to post my favorite NBA team on my story, would they care? Certainly not. Would I care? maybe, but I don't really watch NBA, but that is an example I would want to give you. Basically, I'll let you think while I do more reps. All right. And me personally, my biggest obstacle from getting to where I want to be in the future to who I am now, right? This is basically who I want to be. This guy right here, not the tree, but like, you know, this thing. That's who I want to be. And to do that, I should probably overcome my fear of embarrassment. This is why I'm outside. At one point, you probably go numb to it, and it doesn't really matter. Sometimes giving a shit about what other people thinks is good, but most of the times, I mean, it's bad. But sometimes you have you are overly confident, right? Maybe not overly confident. You're just confident. You like the way you look, you like the way you walk. Just go out. Do you think you would give a shit about what other people thought of you? Maybe, but that's probably because you think you're too good looking, right? Now this is just idea, and let's just say that you feel like shit, zero confidence, and you're like, everybody's staring at me today, everybody's staring at you today. That's probably just how the human brain works. If you move, I'll probably look at you. Like, I'll look at you. I'll probably look at you. If you move anywhere in front of me, I'll look at you. Unless I'm currently focusing on a task, which I am, and then that's different. Me looking up was just me thinking, but that's different. So basically, it's very simple. How do you get there? How do you get to where you want to be? Could be won at least by 10 to 20 to 30% by just not giving a fuck. It's not that easy. It's not that hard. I'm gonna go do more reps while you think. Ab workouts kill me, but I do it because I want it. Now we're moving on to a much larger one that everybody thinks that they might know: rejection. Now in the other video there's a lot more in-depth explaining, so you can just please watch that. I'm not as good as explaining it, but this is how I would explain it. Rejection. Why do we fear it? I've got no clue. I really got no clue. Because for who I want to be, I have to be willing to get no's from people multiple times. Right? It's only natural that if you want to do something, and you do it multiple times, people will eventually say no. And if you just think about it, those people are probably going to be your first 10, first 100, maybe even your first 1,000. It's okay to say no. There's like 7 billion other people. Doesn't matter. I mean, if you take into account who are adults, technically 12 and above, maybe under 60, you've maybe got like half of the population, but it doesn't really matter, right? The point I'm trying to get to, you've got a lot of time if you're my age right now, and if you're me right now, and if you're looking at me, I want to tell you, don't be so scared to film a video at your own house. It's your own house. doesn't matter, right? But I might say, I'm too scared. I'm too scared. My family may judge me. My family may judge me. Now, it is true your family will judge you, undoubtedly. But if you move off from your family one day, how can it judge you? At one point, they would also grow numb to it. They'll probably forget about it, and they'll never think about it again. It might just be like a daily ass thing. Like for me, I go out every other day. To them, it's normal. They don't have to think about it. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? They used to ask me that. Now they don't. Now I just have to do that by recording a video at night. Hopefully I can by tonight. God damn. Hollow cheeks. 5 more minutes. My time is almost up. And the thing I want to say is, if you don't give a fuck, it's probably because other people don't give a fuck. And since other people don't give a fuck, you shouldn't give a fuck. That's basically everything it boils down to. And the only way you can start is doing something relatively embarrassing, which is benefiting. For me, coming outside, recording a video, and talking into a camera like some psychopath is what other people would say, but I think it's good. I will forever be able to put this on the internet and give my future viewers an idea of who I am, who I was, and who I hopefully am in the future. That's it. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Much love, Sean.